Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Only One Bonus Point, a light take on a deep game. We are your hosts and my name is RJ.
And I'm Law.
Cuz.
Oh, right.
I thought you were bringing Nima in. I thought that's what
I thought one
I
of
was-
you
I was.
I was gonna wait.
I was expecting you to come in after me.
I was about to bring myself in, but I was like, I don't want to like do that to them, like because I don't want to.
Do you know what?
Overtake.
Nah, man, I blame Law. He cued you in, man. He sounded like he was waiting for something to say afterwards.
I was waiting for you to come back in.
He was waiting for me to say it.
No, I was waiting for RJ to come back in.
Me?
Yeah, because
I was gonna
bring him in. That's what you said.
I'm gonna bring him in. I'm still gonna bring him in. Yeah. All right. So we have a wonderful guest of us, a good friend of ours, the co-founder of FPL Meets, the host of Net That Hall podcast, and top guy in the FPL. What is it? Big name on campus, Nima, also known as FPL Nima on Twitter. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me, RJ Law. It's good to finally be on here, and it's a shame it's after an Arsenal defeat is all I can say, but I won't go into that yet because it might start World War III.
You know what? I wish it'd be that easy, but it's gonna get brought up. Yeah, this guy will bring it up. Because let me remind you from the beginning, Law is a Spurs fan.
He's definitely coming for us. It's like he's getting 2 for 1 here. He gets to take 2 birds for one.
What a week for this to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the Spurs are flying high as well. I don't like it at all.
It does scare me, right? How quickly we've gone from apparently favourites for the top 4 with made up percentages like 70% to suddenly Spurs is there, United is there, everyone's on the back of us trying to catch us suddenly.
It's weird how quickly things change, isn't it? It's mad how football changes so quick. It's unbelievable.
Especially for Arsenal fans, because don't forget, we were going to get relegated this season, remember? We were going to get relegated. I don't mind.
I've saved the tweet where the Spurs admin tweeted when Spurs were top of the table with 9 points, and back then they had the Manager of the Month award in August and everything. City on the opening day. So I've been saving these, RJ, and then I found another tweet from a Man United admin on game week 1 where they said it was like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say." And then it was like them first in the table after 1 match. And I'm like, oh my God, look at all these admins getting caught slipping, bro. United gassing up first on the game week 1. Yeah, I got them all saved. So don't worry, Law. I've got receipts and your tweets kept as well. If you finish 4th, I'm going to pull out some tweets that you sent before.
I've been consistent throughout the season. I'm sorry. I've been consistent.
Law likes to save it to the end, right to the end, and he just lets loose. He'll throw in little jabs here and there.
Yeah.
You know, the slight ones. But then when it comes to the end, boy, this guy.
All summer long.
Yeah.
It's been a tough few summers for you, I'm guessing, with the lack of European football for us and watching them obviously build a new stadium. But, you know, one thing I did find entertaining, Law, though, was that when your kind of Harry Kane was skipping training, I think it was like 7 or 8 sessions he missed over the summer. And at that moment, I, for once in my life, believed like this is it. He's really gonna go, and they're gonna be weakened. And then he didn't like perform that well for the first 18 weeks, and suddenly, I'd say in 2022, he's arguably player of the season in the Prem. So
it's
that kind of scares me. Yeah, that scares me. So to see that change around from he could have gone, he wasn't scoring, and then bang, he's here, title challenge. I say title challenge. Sorry, top 4 challenge.
Yeah, and it shows that wasn't smoke and mirrors. Like he had an issue with Spurs, and it's plain as day. It's plain as day. You can tell the way he was playing at the beginning of the season. He weren't happy with us getting Nuno, and he weren't happy being there. But then bringing in Conte clearly changed his mind. Clearly.
But then also, I think there's also a boost to the team from like Kulusevski and Bentancur.
Huge.
That also helps out. So
and include Romero and the fact that Doherty's all of a sudden playing like
Doherty.
The way he is. Yeah, that the boost from. Because they're almost like new. Doherty's like a new signing, and obviously Romero is one. And then Bentancur.
There was talks of Doherty being sold, right? People were looking for him to get shotted in the summer and stuff before.
Yeah. Hey, I was one of them. I hold my hands up. I was absolutely one of them.
See, I found the first tweet. See, I'm staring at the tweet right in front of me. It's like probably like Law December, and it's something like "Get Doherty out my club." Worst signing of the Spurs history.
Well, we can't argue an apology form.
You Do you know what though? We're the same in it because I thought the same about Aaron Ramsdale in the beginning of the season. I think I've got a tweet of him like, why are we buying him?
I guess we've all been caught slipping then.
Yeah. It's been one of those seasons though, isn't it? Like the roller coaster of this season.
But you know
Everyone's been
what? I
caught
got
slipping.
caught slipping on. At least I got caught slipping thinking United were better than they were. I thought they were going to be one of 4 title challenges. That's
So
all
did
the
I.
talk we got fed, right?
Nima,
Espe-
don't get me started on
Especially
United, bruv.
when you look at their signings, like anything other than the top is unacceptable. It's literally unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And then I think they're the second most expensive squad assembled in football history. And now they need
I
a
don't-
massive rebuild,
bruv,
apparently.
I don't rate them. I haven't rated United for so long, and people are finally starting to see it.
So
They were playing badly.
against them. Yeah, that home game against them in the Emirates. People are saying, "Oh, that's a hard game for Arsenal." I'm like, no, mate. Spurs, West Ham, and Chelsea. Those are our last 3 tough games. And I was like, I don't consider United at Emirates a tough game. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but even back then when Arteta was a novice manager at 37 years old in like his first game, I went to the Emirates and we slapped United 2-0. That was when he hadn't even got 2 years into the process yet. So I'm sorry, but I've not rated them for a while. And I finally thought they were going to push on this season, but it looks like they're 2 years behind where Arsenal are, and they're going to use our strategy as a blueprint of how to get all the rotten core of the club out and get all the fringe players who are leaking stuff to the media out and get people who are willing to work hard and buy into a future. That's the problem, right? And Ralph's
But they'll never admit it.
They'll never admit it. But Ralph's been very blunt, right? Because he's come out and said stuff like, you know, look at City and Liverpool. They plan for 5-year periods and they build the squad and buy players to support the manager with a plan. Not just here's a couple signings every summer. United have been 2-3 windows away from winning a title. They tell us, their fans tell us, for a good 5+ years now, right? For 5 years, they're saying we're 2-3 windows away from competing. And at least with Spurs and Arsenal, I can see both clubs are moving up in the world.
Something.
Conte's there. It's a great system. His wing-backs are incredible. His front three is elite with Kulu, Kane and Son. Like, if Kane doesn't leave, you know, they're going to push on even further from there. You got Arsenal's youth project growing from its core and hopefully bringing some signings in the summer. So, and then I look at United and they're like, again, 2 years behind that, where they've got to actually get rid of all the crap, get the wages back, and then start again. And I find that crazy. But I'm glad that no matter what happens to Arsenal, we can all unite as Spurs.
You know, United, like they like to do Instagram signings. So if there's a clip, like Dan James is a perfect example. Do you remember that clip in the Championship when he burnt out? I can't even remember one defender from the halfway line. He just blew him. The pace was unreal. Everyone went crazy. United bought him instantly. That's what they do.
Remember
they love
when
to sign
Sanchez
players.
played the piano?
Sanchez on the piano, like. They like all them things.
The Pogba Stormzy.
Bruv, they love that ish. And it always backfires on them. I'm sure there's another signing they made.
They're trying to get fans quiet. That's what it is.
Lukaku was another one. They made
Lukaku was another one.
Yeah. Lukaku. There was another signing that was based on like something that happened. I can't remember. It was a clip or a video. We saw it. It was nuts. And then they just bought them. Who was it? Who's been a flop at United? There's been a few, haven't there? After Dan James, who did they buy?
Diallo.
I'm thinking of the older like the right wing has been a curse for many seasons now.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, the whole right
wing.
Wan-Bissaka. Just go through anyone on the right. Oh, Wan-Bissaka. That summer
that
when
was
they got
it.
Bissaka, Maguire, and who else did they get? They got a third player who's been like mad expensive and a flop for them. And they got all 3 of them that summer, and they're all stuck in the team now. It was Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, and someone else dead. And all 3.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe
Van der Beek.
Van der Beek, and I think it was one of those, and it was like a 150 million summer, and that was again another summer window where they apparently pushed on for a title challenge. It just keeps happening again and again. But obviously, Sancho's looked much better recently. I will give them that. I'd say he's the best player in that team.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of pressure, you know, coming up against Man City, come back into the Premier League. It was a lot. And playing in a different system, they weren't playing to his strengths and the pace of the game. I just think he needed time. Like most players when they come to the Premier League.
I think it's a case of, like you said, it's like they've got a jigsaw, but they're moving like different pieces into it. Because all they seem to do is buy players, but not for a system. They just buy in players for their individual qualities, rather than trying to fit
you
a
of
specific.
England.
Exactly.
It reminds you of England back in the day when we had this amazing team, but like none of them played together as a team for some reason. They were all individually number one, but together they were crap.
Yeah, exactly that.
Because so. We haven't said this yet. What we're getting into today, well, we've got Nima with us. He's going to join us on a normal episode of Only One Bonus Point. What are we saying?
So today we're going to look at our points in game week 31 so far with 1 game left to play. We'll then run through our heroes and zeros in this game week. We'll then look through all the games, and lastly, any transfer plans going forward.
Cool. All right, we haven't actually said this yet, guys, because as I said, we got an esteemed guest with us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on the video, and also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, hit the notification bell and hit us that 5-star rating. Cause we're gonna start with the heroes. No, we're gonna start with our points. I think I'm going first. So this week, it's been annoying. I ended up so far, I'm on 30 points. I've got a couple points on the bench. It's not been the best. My Chelsea gambles flopped.
Big time.
Flopped. So I'm on 33 points. Took a -4. I had 3 transfers. I had Ramsey in goal, who decided to show up, but he might as well not have. With 1 point, I got Doherty with 14 points, which was amazing. Tierney, another injury, got me 0. Alexander-Arnold didn't play, got me 0. They're the 2 players that are going to be going out for me. So my gamble this week was making James captain. Reece James captain.
Oof indeed.
I'm just going to pause for dramatic. And I'm going to hold a big fat 0 on that captaincy. Salah was my vice. He got me 3. Kulusevski got me 6. Saka got me 2. Havertz got me 2. Weghorst got me 1, and he's got another game against Everton at home. And Kane got me 4. On the bench, I've got Brozier with 2 and Shaw with 6. Those 2 will be coming in. So I'll end up still under 40. It's just not good. 41, but -4. So yeah, it's not a good game week for me. I can't really say much else.
Pain.
Yeah, that captaincy trade's killed you. I finished on 45 points. That's with a -4, so 41 in total. I had Ramsdale in goal.
So we're on the same points.
Same points, yeah.
Hold on, we're on the same points, and you had the captain.
Yeah, it's the same points. Yeah, no, actually, I'll finish on 42 because I've got Cody to come in. Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah. Weghorst still to play. Don't forget that.
Yeah, you still got Weghorst still to play. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And Ramsdale in goal for the 1 point. Trent not playing. Rudiger with his bullet goal got me 6 points. Even though they lost 4-1. Doherty full team in midfield. I also brought in Havertz. Got 2 points. Saka 2 points. Kulusevski with 6. Salah was my captain, so he finished with 6 up front. Brozier 2, Lacazette 2, Kane 4. So yeah, but for me it was underneath my safety score. So even though I beat average, I'm still on a red arrow.
Yeah. All right. So Nima, how did Gangsters Allardyce do?
Yeah. So I kind of didn't do as well as I was hoping, but I do still have 3 players left to go. So I've somehow got onto an Everton double up with Gordon and Richarlison.
How did you end up there?
that was for a -4 in game week 29 when they flopped in the last double I owned them for. So I'm already well accustomed to the ones and zeros. Yeah, but now I hear they're gonna have a double in 37. So looks like Richarlison's never gonna leave my team at this rate. But
keeping him in,
I was looking to sell him, but now I'm thinking he's just gonna stay. I have no chips. Overall, I'm down on a red arrow. I've actually had a 65% red arrow, but I'm still optimistic I can turn some of it around because my biggest threats have played in terms of ownership. So I was 3.4k going into the game week, and I'm sitting at 5.7k live rank. So it's 2.3k drop. It's a lot as a percentage. It hurts, but I think I can come back. My biggest flop and what really hurts is Ben White.
This guy. You hear this guy? You
drop
his rank. What rank are you? Hey guys, let's say that again. What is your overall rank?
5.7k at the moment, but hopefully it will be higher at the end of the game weck.
5.7k, and he's disappointed.
Yep. This is the levels we need to reach. These are levels.
No, there's 9 million players now, and you're 5.7k, and that's a red arrow for you. That's amazing, man. But yeah, let's go into
It
your
is
team.
a
Con. Let's
bad
continue.
week though, so I'm probably 10, 20 points down on most people, I think.
Okay.
So I have Ramsdale in goal, which obviously hurts even more with Ben White subbing in for Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all week I had Davies first on my bench, and even though Spurs had higher clean sheet odds than Arsenal, I was convinced that they weren't going to keep a clean sheet. And I told myself if I had Doherty, I would definitely play him ahead of White, but because it's Davies, I won't. I got proper biased. I thought, fuck Spurs, and I put Davies to last on my bench. Next thing you know, Davies gets 8 points and an elusive Premier League goal.
First
and
goal
then
in
Ben
2
White
years.
subs on. Exactly. And Ben White subs on for
Yeah.
1 point, one juicy point for me, and Arsenal lose 3-0 with everyone mocking us. So I'm like, double whammy. That's what I get for bringing bias into my FPL decision making. So that was a tough lesson. My only players who I'm happy for, so I had Robertson 6, Rudiger 6, Salah captaincy, Kane only got one more, so I have both. It's nothing major going on there. And then Kulusevski 6, Richarlison 4, so I'm hoping he can build on that 4, maybe with a random hat trick. And then Weghorst, that will do well. So Weghorst
That's
is
the hat trick we need.
Yeah, so Weghorst is
That's the one.
50%. I'll take his hat trick, but Richarlison for me is 3% ownership. So if he got like a hat trick, I'd get like 97% of those points. Whereas for Weghorst, I'd only get 50%.
I don't have Richarlison, so
the good news is that they can both get a hat trick in a thrilling free relegation scrap. I don't know what's more difficult to believe, that only one of them is being relegated, not both, or that one of them will ever score again. I don't know which one's harder to believe.
Everton are pushing it though, aren't they, man? They really are. I think Burnley might survive actually after the way the things are going. Like
if they win tomorrow,
their fixtures don't look too bad though.
But if they win tomorrow against Everton, Everton's in major trouble.
Major trouble. Major trouble.
Because Everton will play Arsenal in game week 38, and they might get relegated on goal difference alone in that game.
Wait, 38?
Yeah,
that's our last game, Everton.
Yeah, at home.
The home game. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I gotta be.
It's the game after Newcastle away, I think, and Spurs.
Yep. So Burnley, their last few games, they've got after Everton, they've got Norwich away, West Ham away, Southampton at home, and Wolves at home, and then Watford away. So it's not the worst games for them.
There's another double potentially coming as well.
Oh, they got the double in 37, and they're going to be one in between, like 35 or 36.
That's what I'd been thinking originally, but maybe that's changed since the Villa news, because it's been moved around a bit from expected. But no, I'm kind of in a situation where I benched Barnes, so at least that didn't screw me over. So he got 2 points. He did look like he came close a couple of times against United. I am a bit nervous that maybe Maddison was the guy that I want to own going into double game in 33. So now I've got to make that decision in 33. Do I buy a second Leicester mid? Their games are pretty good, and their double in 36 looks great as well. So I don't know what you
Barnes
boys
as well, right?
Yeah, so Barnes is the only other player I didn't read out on the team, but that's because he's on the bench.
Yeah, I'm torn between Barnes, Maddison as well, but whether or not I want to be dragged into the double game weeks, which I have been every single time. Every single time there's been a double, I've been like, yep, I need double players, but they're not always outscoring these single game weeks.
The recent ones have been difficult. The recent ones have definitely been difficult. So we're now going to get into our heroes and zeros. And if you haven't heard it before, our heroes can be anyone that's helped us in our fantasy team, anyone that's done some sort of fantastic playing football, man of the match performances. And our zeros are pretty much the opposite of that. So we're each going to pick one hero and one zero. I'll go first. My first hero, Ericsson.
That snake. You did that on purpose. Yeah, man. What he's done.
I'll go with Ericsson, man. They are so much better with him. And for a team of Brentford's level to be pushed up, and it's literally based on how good he is in the midfield.
And bro, did you see his goal?
Yeah, beautifully taken.
Yeah, he's automatically leveled up Brentford, just like that. Nima, what are you going for?
I think as much as it pains me to say this, it has
Don't
to
say
be
it! Don't say it! I already said it twice in a row!
Do you know who it is? Do you know who it is?
It's because you said pains to say it, go on.
Do you know who it is?
I think so.
My hero. No, my hero is going to be Conor Gallagher, as much as I hate to say it, for his all-round midfield display.
Okay, I can accept that.
I think Crystal Palace will not be able to hold on to him after that. I think that price just goes up every week.
Literally,
bro.
Literally.
He bossed Partey in the midfield. And
he looked incredible for England as well. The way he slotted in at that level against a team like Switzerland and just was comfortable with a new squad group that he'd never been with. It's exciting years ahead for him, I'm sure.
I thought the whole time it would be Partey's going to be dealing with Zaha and maybe Mateta. I didn't think Conor Gallagher was going to be his issue. Beat him to everything in the midfield, constantly a thorn inside, wouldn't let him run anywhere. And then he ended up with an injury as well. Just like, wow, Conor, that's a great shot. That's a
great shot. Great shot.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for Jota. How is this guy keep scoring so many headers, bro?
His positional play is amazing.
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
And his heading ability, next to none. I mean, like, Giroud would be proud, bro. Would be proud.
And he's missing like half a foot on all these guys as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's mad. So I'm going with Jota, goal and assist as well. We all thought, when he signed for Liverpool, everyone was like, why Liverpool? Why did they want Jota? The proof is right there.
Yeah.
It's a shame. If I was sure he was playing every game, he would be the first name in my team sheet. He might even be better value than Salah going into the run-in. There's a bold claim for you to hold on to. Who gets more points from game week 32 to game week 38? Jota or Salah? We'll see.
The only thing that makes you question it is the fact that you don't know if Jota's going to start every game. If you did, then my money would be on Jota, because
especially with Champions League coming up, it worries me. But
so would any of you not taking Salah out your team?
I had him out my team and I brought him back this week. That was my transfer. Okay. I should have said in the team section, but I brought back Salah and I brought in Weghorst for Jimenez. But we'll see how that goes. I already regret it. De Bruyne was there as an option. I could have brought in De Bruyne and captained him, but so be it. I couldn't resist owning Salah. I'm not that kind of manager.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into our zeros. Cuz, since you started the heroes, what's up? What are you saying for zeros?
My zero is Keane for Everton. I think Everton, they're at the point where they were just chasing the game, and then you knew it was on a yellow. It was a stupid challenge. Get a red, and then your team's out.
It was a dumb challenge.
Yeah.
You got a captain as well.
Yeah.
Add in Iwobi as well for giving away the ball like
that. Special mention to Iwobi as well.
It's like I like to see Frank suffer, but it's even funnier when it's like individual error that you can't account for as a coach.
You can't do nothing for. All right, so mine has got to be Thomas Partey. He gave the ball.
To say it.
It does, man.
It does.
Gooner. Yeah, this guy, he gave the ball away so many times. He looked so off pace. I think that's probably his worst game in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably up there. Yeah, it is up there.
And also, getting injured and stopping again. He did it again.
Oh, the same thing. He
did it again before the penalty. Yeah. So that led to the penalty. So everyone panicked, and then Odegaard is in the place he shouldn't be.
Like he shouldn't be trying to defend in the penalty box. I don't know how we let it get to that. But also Gabriel, what worries me is he is very raw, and he has been great for us. But if you watch lots of games, lots of mistakes, a lot of the goals come because of him. So he'll push forward more than he needs to, and
he's
then
he's very aggressive.
So he's got he's got a few reds in him, and
that's like the goal. I think who was it? That's not the goal, but the pass came through. He slid in.
Yeah, that's what he does. Stuff he doesn't need to.
He just slid in. He didn't need to.
Ayu's goal. For Ayu's goal. The second
goal. That's it.
Yeah.
And then Tavares. He didn't. I can't.
Tavares for Gabriel had it for one. He
thought
like,
he had it.
But like, why did he leave him on his own?
That's overconfidence, isn't it? He's got that. I'll go this way.
But you've got to follow your runner, man. You've got to follow your runner, even if he does make it. At least it's covered. And it's just schoolboy errors. If that was Tierney, he would have followed his man. So
that's a sore point as well. Hearing he's out now until after his qualifiers in June for Scotland. He might not even make those.
Out that long?
Yeah, knee surgery this week. All from playing 180 minutes of friendly football for Scotland. Yeah, 180 minutes of friendlies, RJ. Friendlies, not even meaningful international football. Friendlies.
They're killers, isn't it? International games are killers. They're killers.
Friendlies,
as well.
Especially for teams that don't have hope in these World Cups. Like, what's Scotland gonna do, man? Oh, mate.
I hope Tierney doesn't watch this back.
Listen, you know I love you, bro. It's fine. You're a gooner, bruv. I need you. We need
just not
you.
Scotland. Just not Scotland.
Yeah.
Nah, not for a friendly. No.
Well, I'll add to the conversation because it flows from what you were saying. My flop of the week was 0 would be Tavares. So obviously first start in the Prem in months this calendar year. First start since his cup start where he got sub 30 something minutes in. He lasted a bit longer this time till half time.
46
but it was
minutes.
still sloppy. Yeah, he had to go tactical sub. That would shoot his confidence. News that Tierney's out. It makes you question, is he even going to be trusted in many more of the following games to come, or are they just far too important for that inexperience?
Yeah.
So I think we might see Xhaka at left back, depending on Partey's severity of his injury now. You can't really leave Lokonga to play a lone pivot on his own with Odegaard and Smith Rowe either side.
Is Tomiyasu back?
So that's the hope. That's
we're hoping he's back, but
because then Cedric can play left.
Cedric can play left, yeah, that's what I was
Xhaka
thinking.
can stay in the centre mid. But
I hate Cedric at left back.
That's also terrible in itself. Yeah.
I hate him at left. I'd rather Xhaka at left back. Seriously, I don't know.
Yeah, but then we don't have a midfielder. That's the problem. So we're in if Partey's out long term. So there's a lot of issues we're gonna have to overcome.
This is not the time for this to be happening.
It's not the time.
Wrong time. With Tavares though, in his small defence, Palace was crazy. The fans were going mad. It was a nuts atmosphere. Now to walk into that, it's like when Newcastle got the new owners in it. I can imagine he was a bit like a deer in headlights. So hopefully,
you've not started a game for months and you're already panicking because you got subbed last time and you get subbed again. That's what I mean. I don't know if he's gonna have the confidence to bounce back that quick. Like, is he gonna start against Brighton?
True, but we have a home game, so at least that. I'm
hoping he might play a couple of home games where we can afford to take the risk to play him. But I don't see him playing against like West Ham, Chelsea, Spurs. I don't see him playing United. I don't see him starting any of those games. I'll be honest.
Can Arteta like afford to bench him? Because that, like you said, that will ruin his confidence. His confidence will be done.
But that's why he might play him in this game against Brighton. This is a good chance to just test him one more time. Be like, look, I'm going to give you my faith. I'll back you one more time, but don't make me sub you early again. It's at home. It's at home. Yeah. It's like there's your chance to prove me wrong. Don't make me sub you a third time, mate. Who was that guy who used to get subbed all the time by Everton? Moise Keane. He got subbed on and subbed off.
Oh, Moise Keane. His career, bro.
And then ended up at PSG.
But when he was at Italy previously, innit, he was touted as one of the best.
Tearing it up.
Yeah. I just think sometimes the Premier League is not geared to certain players.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Not even just the Premier League itself. I don't think managers play them a certain way. Because look at like players like Gnabry. We had Tony Pulis saying how rubbish he was, and he destroyed it at Bayern Munich. I mean, it just depends on the manager they get.
Yeah.
All right, so lads, we're not going to go through all the games. Just some of the shockers. Brentford against Chelsea.
Away.
Chelsea versus Brentford. 4-1 to Brentford. What the hell was going on here? Yanelt got 2 goals, Wissa got a goal, and then Eriksen with a beauty, and then Rudiger with a bullet. Mbeumo with 2 assists, Tony with an assist, and Kante with assists. 3 bonus points went to Yanelt. Eriksen with 2 and 1 to Mbeumo. Guys, what happened in this game?
It's just pure chaos. So I'm a Rudiger owner, and I will be honest, when the first goal went in, I felt great. Yep. And then when they first conceded, I felt, okay, no clean sheet even points better for anyone else, even better. And then I'm like, it is. And then James subbed on, and I was like, oh shit, he's going to do something off the bench. He can do it. Ended up obviously saved with captaincy 0. So looks like all my worries were for nothing.
Honestly, Brentford were really good in this game, but Chelsea were poor, man. Chelsea was so poor. Like considering they won 6 in a row just before this game. Like I don't know what that international break just messed up their flow or whatever, or complacency, one of the two. But yeah, they were much weaker in this game for some reason.
And Brentford looked like they got a serious bounce.
Yeah,
they were playing like how they played against Arsenal in the first game of the season.
It's true. It is true. They look great. They look like they've managed to. Them and Newcastle have kind of dragged themselves out of a relegation battle of any kind. They've just left Everton down there amongst Burnley and Watford. Norwich is doomed, as we know. Watford is probably doomed too. But Everton has somehow been sucked in, and now they play Burnley for the whole world to watch.
They've been awful. That's why. Everton have been shocking.
Lampard's lost 7 out of the 11 games in charge. I don't know how he got that job, but I would say he's definitely the most out of depth manager in the Premier League.
He literally came from no experience, didn't he? He came straight from his coaching badges into Chelsea. It's incredible.
From Derby.
It was from Derby, so he was at Derby.
Yeah.
But he failed the promotion campaign there as well.
Yeah.
So he's never been successful as a manager, and somehow he's getting these jobs.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like a club like Everton that in the last 5 years has spent nearly as much as City, and they've mismanaged so badly that now they're in ruins and they're going to get docked points apparently because they made more losses than they're legally allowed to over the last 3 years. Like they have just spent this money all wrong. And when you look at United, that's kind of the same mentality.
I was just about to say,
yeah.
Well, it is, but theirs is slightly different because United buy like players who have got a big name, even though they don't fit the system. Everton seem to buy players that suit a manager's system and then sack the manager, bring a new one in, and then none of these players now suit the system. And then they just rinse.
Each of them have been
they rinse and repeat.
Manager.
Exactly, yeah. They just rinse and repeat. It's weird.
Look at the resurgence of Iwobi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like people are coming in and out of the squad because each new manager wants different aspects of the squad.
Yeah, Benitez was playing what's his face, Roden. Like, where did I even forgot?
Yeah, where did he come from, bro? I thought he retired by now. Like, it's like what?
Yeah,
and then what's that striker they had there? Tosson.
Yeah,
still there.
Tosson's
still there.
He's still chilling. Yeah, it's incredible. Their recruitment has been woeful.
So one thing is definitely for sure, yeah, this league is going to end with a cracker. So Arsenal drop points, Man United drop points, Spurs pick up points, Chelsea drop points as well. What's going to happen with this top four? Liverpool picked up points. Was it one gap between? Is it how many points between? City and Liverpool? One point.
And they play each other this week.
A lot of battles.
And they play each other, yeah. Mate.
Yeah.
What's a game that's going to be?
Serious. Yeah, I can't miss that game.
Do you think
no one can miss that game?
Do you think Chelsea are involved in this top four situation?
I think they could have been if Arsenal had kept the pressure on yesterday. Yeah. That's the problem. Now I wonder if they feel like they got away with it a bit. Because we had two opportunities where we could have gone twice, 2 points behind them. And both times we didn't capitalize on those scenarios. We played them.
You play them. That's the thing. You play them, yeah. And
but even by playing them, right?
5 point gap.
But that's 5 points. That's the problem. If it had been 2 points, then it would have been in our own hands whether we come top three. Now we're relying on them to drop points. So even if we beat them, that's still not enough.
Yeah,
we still got them to drop. So that's what I mean. Like I feel like they've managed to get themselves out of this, and now they've left United, Spurs, and Arsenal in a three-way battle for top four instead of what could have been. If Arsenal had won, that might have made Chelsea panic. And then if they'd beaten them and overtaken them, they could have panicked more. And then they could have even dropped out the top four, maybe. But I think they're feeling confident and bullish after what they saw yesterday.
I imagine so. Like you said, it's definitely helped them. But I still think they're semi. If they have another shocking result, then they're 100% in that.
But their fans were like, quote me on this. There's no way we're losing another game this season by a 3-goal deficit. They were like proper, like this is a blip. This doesn't happen. I was like, okay. We'll still see. Everyone's turning on Arsenal after one game, but I didn't see the same energy for Chelsea or United dropping. That's how you know, RJ, we're back in it. All the haters are out in full.
You don't hear it. Like, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for it.
They're all worried, innit?
I just
like,
watch
we're
it.
Gonna do something.
Yeah, I don't like it when all the eyes are on Arsenal because that's when we play like we did yesterday. When people think we ain't in it, I'm up for it, bro.
Do you think
that's what I mean? So we've been playing like that. Like we've been for the last 4 months taking it one game at a time, and I just told people don't get carried away, and they're like, "Oh, top four is that look like." We're just thinking about the next game. So if in the same vein, we're not getting carried away with the wins, we shouldn't be getting so carried away with the one loss. It's like we just came off the back of 5 wins in a row, 15 points out of 18 points. We won 5 away games for the first time in a row since 2015. Like, things are looking okay. We were the most informed team in Europe before this, par with City for points.
Say it.
So this happened, right? I can come back. Yeah, we can come back. So I'm still confident. That's what I'm getting at. Like before the season, if you look at every pundit's top four prediction, Arsenal wasn't in one of them. So for people to try and make out like the trajectory of our squad and our plan and our journey going forward is at risk if we suddenly come fifth. No, I don't believe that. It might delay our trajectory of our plan and our squad plan, but it is not going to stop the trajectory. The trajectory is en route. Like one game doesn't suddenly mean, oh my God, Arsenal is shit. And all these narratives that have been debunked over 4 months, people are bringing back like same old Arsenal and this and that and Shaka Yellow. Or it's
This
just
is
so
why
easy to come for us.
Nima
Bro.
is my guy. Yeah, some Arsenal fans, they talk so much nonsense.
Yeah,
and
Arsenal.
it
We're not
annoys
talking
me,
about
innit?
opposition fans. Yeah, these are
Yeah,
fucking fellow
bro.
gooners.
Talk
Sent
properly,
from
bro.
Arsenal, like,
Talk properly, innit?
They're panicking. They're panicking. I'm like, bruv, like we weren't even in the top 4 race. Like, obviously, it would be great if we come 4th. We might still be able to do it. It's in our own hands. We're in a better position as it stands than United and Spurs are, but that could slip. But I think all of us are going to drop points between now and the end of the season.
Without a doubt. No one's winning the next 8 games. Because if you look,
Exactly.
look at our season, look at each of our team's seasons, there's no chance that any of those 3 teams are winning all of their last 8 games. Not a chance.
And we all play each other, so we're all
yeah,
drop
yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I think Spurs have got the best run, then Arsenal, and then Chelsea. So it is going to be tight. So Spurs, their last bit,
I
they've
love how you
got...
left United out of it. You're like, fuck off. They didn't even capitulate. They're pissed because that Leicester game now, they're even more upset they dropped points because they weren't expecting Arsenal to drop points and now they fucked their chance.
Yep. So what, Spurs, yeah? They got Villa away, Brighton at home, Brentford away, Leicester at home, then Liverpool. Man United, they've got Everton away, they've got a double game week, Norwich at home, and then Liverpool away, big game for them. Arsenal away, Brentford at home, which is not easy anymore, and Brighton at home, away. Then Chelsea. Liverpool, not Liverpool, they're not, we don't have no problem talking about Liverpool. Chelsea got Southampton away, Arsenal at home, West Ham at home, Everton away, and then Wolves at home, then Man United away. So, yeah, Spurs have got the best run.
I think they do, but they obviously have to play us, and they do have to play Liverpool away. So I think those 2 games are tough, and then I think they could drop points against the likes of Leicester and Villa, despite their crap
Villa
form
away.
recently.
Yeah, it's a problem.
But it's away, exactly.
Easily a problem. Yeah.
That's why I say people are so reactionary, because I bet you on Match of the Day on Saturday, quote me one on this one too, we're going to have beaten a really out of sorts Brighton. Villa are somehow going to be played back into form and win. And by the time Match of the Day Saturday comes around, Arsenal are going to be 4th again. But all this stuff we heard from Monday to Saturday, and then it's just out in the bin because Arsenal will be 4th again. Like this is what I mean. Like
it is very
there are games where people. I can't believe from one game football has become like this, where someone's world class one week and then there's 0 out of 10 the next week. Like,
they have to clutch at straws.
There's just no in between, is there?
They have to clutch at straws, and also
you're either amazing
you have to remind
or shit. There's no
yeah,
projects.
exactly.
There's no long-term vision.
There's no building.
That must be tough. That must be tough for you guys, though, Law. Because wasn't there a big period when Conte first came? Where it was like WL was like the rank for the last form.
Honestly,
so it's like you win one, you're the best team in the world. Next week, you're the worst team. The week
it got
after,
to the
you're
point
the
where
best team.
we were winning, and I was coming on here, and it was like, and I was just like, yeah, we won, but it's what it is. Because there's no point celebrating the win. You knew what was going to come next.
The week
I
after,
can't believe with all that noise, we're still on equal points and we've got a game in hand.
Like, it's against
ahead
them.
on goal difference.
No, the game in hand
against them.
Is against Chelsea.
Yeah, but
we got one game on you.
It's against you.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Because we could play you in that game, right?
Yeah.
So it could be any of those games. That's what I love about in hand, because in hand is technically it is the one that's postponed, but at the same time, like by the time we play you next, that's going to still be a game where that's going to decide the top 4 potentially. And that's going to be 2 weeks before the end of the season. So that is scary. I was hoping we wouldn't be in a top 4 battle by the time that game came. Same. After yesterday, I think it's definitely going to count.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is going to count. 100%. It's going to be the best North London derby in years.
I know. Listen, before we go into that, because I know May 12th is going to be madness. Let's have a look at our teams going into game week 32, and then we finish up with a bit of North London derby talk.
Yeah, we don't need no title talk. City and Liverpool can be covered in our discussion now about the next game week, because they're going to be covered this anyway.
So, Law, I think we should start with Nima this time, innit?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
5.7k player would do.
See what I would do. So my plan is to roll a transfer. The idea is that if I have the ability to watch City play Liverpool first, see what happens, see what connotations that has for their respective cup ties they have to play in the midweeks as well, see how those 2 legs go in the cup. By the time 33 rolls around, I'm going to be able to attack that double much more clearly. Now, I'm not looking to free hit either, so I think the single game week players in 33, it's like what you were saying, RJ. I'd rather have them. Like I'd rather have Spurs against Brighton. I'd rather have City against Brighton and Liverpool against United, all of them at home. I'd rather have those players in single game weeks than sell them for the likes of Leicester mids, Newcastle strikers, Burnley defenders, Burnley strikers. Like I don't want these guys in my team long term without another wild card, right? And I'm not bench boosting, so I just care about my 11.
See, I heard you say that on your pod last week, and I was a bit like, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah, if you
take out all the big hitters for all these little baby boys, even though they got double game weeks, it's not necessarily going to be the best option.
Well, I learned it this week, right? Like Weghorst is on 1 so far. We don't know what he'll get. Maybe he'll do well, but previous double game weeks since 26 till now have shown us that most of the time strikers from a relegation team, whether it's Watford, Norwich,
I'm going to bang 4 goals.
They're all crap. Yeah,
not going to score 4 goals in a game.
They might get red cards.
What a shot.
Jimenez red card, Dennis red card, penalty misses. Like it's just. So by now, I'm like, I need to get away from that mindset. So like, I've got people at Barnes, he'll play a double. I've already got Saka, Ramsdale, White. These guys will have a double. I could, if I want, bring in a second, Leicester mid. But again, Kulusevski home against Brighton. Like, am I going to sell him for a hit or sell him to get 2 games out of Maddison when I've already got Barnes? Probably not. Do I want Willock or Fraser long term? No. So it's like, unless you're free hitting, I don't see why you would get them. So that leads me to my second point. So for people who are on free hit 33, okay, like you're taking a high risk, high reward strategy, because when it's not a blank week, a free hit can be more damning. You could end up with less points on the free hit than your original team. Yeah. But in a big blank, if you go from 5 players playing to 10, you're probably going to be net positive.
Exactly. So
it's a riskier time to do it, I think. Now, if your team's got loads of Villa
what's
players,
the chip you got left?
So I've just got free hit 1, and I'm going to use that in probably 37 is looking like now. My 36 team, the way the fixtures have fallen, I have something like 12, 13 double game week is 4 game week 36 already. Like 10 teams are doubling. Another 4 could potentially double from there. It doesn't seem like if I free hit, I wanted to do it. And the only reason I'll tell you that I might still do it is that Spurs have a very bad double against Liverpool and Arsenal. And although maybe you shouldn't back against someone like Kane or Son if you have them, free hit to change one of them into like a KDB if City have a good double game week, that seems quite appealing to me. It's risky, just as risky as taking out single game week is in 33 for double game weeks from crap teams. But I'd rather get like 2 games from KDB for City challenging for a title against whack teams than get 2 really tough games for Kane. And I'm willing to take that risk. So I think that's what I would say. If you've got 1 free hit left, you got to pick your poison. And whatever week you free hit now, it could hurt you. Like 33, it could hurt more because the singles have good games. But 36, everyone's got doublers. Like it's going to be free hit versus bench boost and maybe some triple captains. And like, what are you going to gain? 37, though, on the other hand, that's the one I'm looking at, because if City's double goes there, then I've already got players for 36, right? So just
get out of my head, man.
Is that what you're thinking?
So I'm in a strange position, isn't it? I got 2 free hits and I got my bench boost.
2 free hits as well, okay.
And a bench
boost. In that situation, I would try to get the bench boost out as fast as possible, like out the door. But are you looking to delay it and get to something like 36 because there's so many players now to pick from?
Yeah, so I was thinking the original plan was the bench boost in 36. Because obviously you can't use 2 consecutive free hits, and I was going to free hit in 33, and then the second one was going to be between 35 and 37. But yeah, now I'm in 2 minds. But if I don't bench boost in 36, I'm going to have to use my other free hit very soon.
So I think if I had 2 free hits, I would probably still attack game week 33 with a free hit. But with 1 left, it feels like that's a risk I'm not going to take, selling my single game. But with 2, like I would do it, I think. With bench boost, there is the alternative. I would debate your free hit 33 team and look at what that looks like compared to bench boost. And in your shoes, if I had those chips, I would probably try and get the bench boost out in 33, because there are cheap assets you can buy from Newcastle, Leicester, Burnley. So you can cover those doubles with really cheap assets, the bench boost.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Even Dubravka, right? Like I've got him still. He's on he's got Leeds, I think Leicester and Crystal Palace, but both at home.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
why not? Like,
that was the issue, is if I bench boost in 33, where I'm going to use my second free hit.
So I think you could use it in there's still 2 games that didn't get scheduled yet. One of them was City Wolves, and I think the other one was a Villa game. Now Villa could have a double potentially. I think 34 was touted as a potential double, but I think that's ruled out now. I'm not sure if any it's very high chance it won't happen, right? Like it requires like Chelsea to like beat, say, Real Madrid, but then get to the FA Cup finals. It's like all these connotations that are very or Palace to get to the final, like stuff that's unlikely, right? So knocking Chelsea out earlier, like if Palace win the semis, which are they really after being so knackered against Arsenal? I don't know. So with that in mind, they're saying 35 could be. So if you were rather free hit 37 than 36, suddenly 35 and 37 has got that gap where you don't break the rule of 2 consecutive game weeks of free hits. So I think that would be my plan, like bench boost 33, free hit 35, free hit 37. And worst case, if 35 doesn't come about, then you could free hit 36 and then free hit on game week 38 when all 10 games kick off at once. And
because I want that stress.
It's like you're there 5 minutes before deadline getting news that half the players you picked on free hit aren't playing.
Yeah, that's going to be nuts. So that's where I'm standing. And actually, I think I'm on the same as you. I'm currently debating whether I need to make a transfer because I had 3 transfers last week. I took a -4, and do I need to make another transfer the following game week? I'm not so sure. My team looks okay.
I think it's worth having 2 the following week. The fact that you're probably benching players who play means you're not in such a dire situation where you need to be making a transfer. And the upside is very low this week with City and Liverpool playing each other. Who else are you going to buy, right? I'm just looking at my team now. Like the best you could hope to do is maybe if you've got double Liverpool defense and you don't want them long term, you could turn one into a second Chelsea defender, but again, you don't want to go to your second City defender this week. So it's kind of like you're not buying Liverpool players, you're not buying City players. You could buy United player if you want a captain. So if you don't want to captain Kane or Son against Villa away, if you're worried about that game, some people might captain Saka at home against Brighton. Others might buy Bruno, Sancho, Ronaldo, get them a week early. It's not a bad shout. They play Everton.
What about Weghorst against Norwich, though? No,
I don't think about I captained him when he got his the other game. In 27. Never again. I learned my lesson. Captain Weghorst.
This is why I'm thinking not to do anything this week because I found myself contemplating whether I want to keep Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like, is there much benefit for these last 8 game weeks and what he's going to do compared to, having Robertson or Matip? I'm not sure.
That's a good point because I have Robertson and Trent, and the plan has always been to sell Robertson, but it depends because if the extra money could get me an upgrade elsewhere, then there's a debate of which one of them outscores each other. Some people have even gone for Matip at 5 million. Now, I don't say get him as your only Liverpool defender. I would get him as a second, just to be clear. Anyone on here doing Trent to Matip, that is your own decision. I did not say that. I'm going to come to me saying you lost.
I'm going to clip it anyway.
But listen, with Trent, in the last 9 games, he's had 1 assist.
No,
he's had clean sheets. He's had some clean sheets, don't get me wrong, but Matip and Robertson can do that too.
You can say the same about Salah's form as well, though.
No, we can't. Salah's different.
Salah's different gravy. About his form, though.
Different gravy.
A lot of people are looking at removing him.
Has he got 9 games?
I've been seeing this talk. He's got, I think, 9 games with a double to go. Yeah. So, but I saw something that was quite interesting. So someone put on Twitter like these stats, and it was his stats when he was performing really well versus his stats now that everyone's obviously saying he's getting like nowhere near the same amount of points. But in that, it actually showed that recently his numbers have been better, but he's just underperformed them more. So the delta's been higher. So like game week 1 to 18, he had 18 starts, right? His non-penalty goals and assists was 22. And he had a 0.73 non-penalty XGI per 90, right? So he was actually outscoring it by plus 0.45. So he was meant to have only 0.73, but he was actually getting, he got 22 returns in 18 games. He actually got more than 1 non-penalty XGI. Now, between 19 to 31, that's only 9 starts, right? So obviously it's a bit less. But he only has 3 non-penalty goals and assists in that time. Between game week 19 to 31, 3 non-penalty goals and assists. But his non-penalty XGI in that 9 games is 0.97. So it's already 0.25 higher than it was in the period when he got 22 returns. So you would expect he would get 11 returns in this stretch, but he got 3. So they're saying the delta in that one is minus 0.61. So earlier in the season when he was doing really well, he was outperforming what his numbers were by plus 0.45. Obviously, I've said non-penalty goals and assists. The reason for that is
This is good having a numbers guy on you know.
Yeah,
Look at all this. I love it.
It's like someone's got to re-listen to that part like 3 times to fully digest.
Be like, what? Actually, I no point. Yep. Take your notebooks. This is Nima all about, man. This is them guys.
You know that meme with Jack Galifianakis with all the numbers are going across his face.
Oh yeah, when he's got the whiteboard. You should put that on the thumbnail. But yes, I think the main thing is that it's outcome bias, you could say, because obviously he's only got, as you said, 3 non-penalty goals. Even his double in 26, he had 2 penalty goals. His double in 29, one of them was a penalty goal, I think. So it's all being penalty goals, but we're looking at non-penalty XGI in case anyone's asking, because we want to know something that's like less skewed, because let's say he had 10 penalties earlier and he only has 2 now. Each penalty is something like a 0.7 something XG. So, you know, what if he was lucky to get that penalty and he wouldn't get another game? So I don't want to count that in the metric. I want to know how many goals and assists could he get on his stats with no penalties. Now the positive is he also has penalties. So on the main topic of people who are looking to sell him now, I think that's ludicrous. I think if they'd already sold him and they were, you know, boisterous enough to not get him in 31, Captain Kane or whatever, they were going to wait till 34 to buy him back. Great. They've seemed to have, you know, done quite well in that strategy. And, you know, you avoid the single against United in 33. You avoid this game against City. You buy him back in 34. But at this stage, we've already held him through all of this, including the blank in 30. It's a bit late in my eyes to sell him now, because like, you're going to want to keep him at the end of the season for that title challenge. So yeah, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. I think the main thing is he's significantly underperformed his numbers in this period. The numbers have been bad, but that's because maybe he's just been bad. Yeah, he could turn that around. That he just needs a little bit of a wake-up call, and I think it might be coming. Klopp will remotivate them, hopefully.
Especially as the title chase gets narrower and narrower, and the season comes to a close, then he's the type of person that I wouldn't be afraid to captain against City.
Exactly. What would you do if they get knocked out of the Champions?
You saw what he did to them in the beginning of the season as well. Yeah, man was confident as hell. That goal was nuts.
One of the goals of the season, the way he turned up to his defenders.
Yeah, man.
I can't be going without him. No way.
Trust me. All right, so like I said, I don't think I'm making a change. So I'll be having Ramsey in goal, Doherty, James, Shaw, Ramsey, Salah, Kulusevski, Saka, Havertz, Weghorst, and Kane. The captain armband is currently on Kane, and the vice is on Havertz. Law, we haven't got into your team.
I'm exactly the same. I'm looking at rolling at the minute. No plans to change, because I think similar to what you're saying, Nima. My plan was to bring in Cancelo, but I just thought this week probably wasn't the best week to bring him in anyway. So it makes sense I wait another one, and then I have 2 free transfers rather than 1. And plus, I've been taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, but you can take another hit next week, right?
Yeah, because I've been taking a lot of hits recently. I've been taking a lot of hits. So this will be I think this is like the first week in like 12 that I've not taken a hit or something. I've been very aggressive.
It's no coincidence that it's the first week since like December or something that isn't a blank or a double.
Yeah, since game week 15, I think. Yeah,
something
incredible.
Like that.
Yeah, incredible.
It's wild.
We've never had a season like it. Yeah. We've never had a season like it.
So yeah, I'm looking to roll this week, and the main reason I'm looking to roll though is because I've just been listening to Nima. Because originally I was planning to free hit 33, but yeah, you've definitely pushed my mind more towards 30 because I've got 1 free hit left as well.
You only got 1 as well.
Yeah.
Nima, don't help him, bro.
I take advice.
He's gonna overtake you in the family league.
Well ahead, mate. Well ahead.
You're gonna consolidate the league.
Yeah, that's the one.
Season.
That's the one.
Man said well ahead. Yeah.
Well ahead.
120 points.
That's a lot.
That's tough with how much time there's.
Like I said, well ahead.
With some chips, we could do some damage, but yeah. So
you do have 2 free hits and a bench boost, but I think that's going to be tough without a wild card and triple captain.
Yeah,
you need a lot of chips to catch that.
Yeah, and Law is a very defensive player. Come towards the end as well, so.
Yeah. But my aim this season has been top 50k, so that's where I'm going. But this week hasn't helped me though. Currently 87,000. But yeah, I think I can make it.
You're not far off. I think you got time. Yeah, you got time.
Yeah. What's your overall points, Law?
2014.
Yeah, you hit the 2000 club this game week, right?
This game week, yeah.
Cool. Are you gonna hit it next game week, RJ? Or how far are you from that?
The smile on your face while you're asking that question.
Hey, but I didn't expect this from me, you know. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. 1 week is not enough time, is it?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. If it was game week 33, then maybe. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I'll be up there. Definitely get there. What's your overall rank saying, man? We've already been 5 points. What's your overall points?
Points. That's what I'm trying to check if it's counting my subs or not.
It won't do.
Okay.
Not on the main. Only if you use
live FPL.
Live FPL. Yeah.
Well, I've only got the one from White. It would have been nice if I had the Davies points. I got myself there with my Spurs bias, but I am on 2,124 points. So I've still got a way to go. I'm aiming for top 1K, but it's 44 points ahead of me now, and it was only 30 points ahead of me before the game week started. So it's been brutal. But I see what you're saying. Like my brutal is a 2K rank drop. But I promise you the same. But I promise you the same points in your rank bracket. It would hurt the same amount. It's just the ranks are more condensed down here. I think so. Everyone's got the same players where I am. Like the difference between me and like everyone around me is that one player. And if that one player gets 15 and your one gets 1, suddenly next thing you know, you're like out the top 10.
Jump is mad. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. So like it's the same as like if you're 50, say you're 70k, as you're saying, or a mistake for you that gets you say from 70 to 100k. I think that would get you from like 7 to 10k. Yeah, because it's still the same damage, but it's smaller group of people all consolidated points. But for RJ, it must be mad. It must be like if it gets you fucked from 500k, you could be 1 million into that game,
bro.
Like,
just 5 point difference. It's a huge swing, bro.
It's 5 points, nuts. Like 10,000, 20,000.
Bro, it's like last week. Yeah, I think I had quite a few different to score points, and I went up 100k, and then a sub went out, and then I dropped by 20k. They're very tight. So this is why I feel like I can drop my overall rank quite a bit, but it's just I can't be making mistakes like with the gamble I took with James.
Yeah,
I think you can. I think you can do well because right now I think the top 10k. I don't know about obviously each bracket's chip usage, but I know in the top 10k something like 70% of people have the second free hit chip left, but then that's all they have. They've like used everything else. So there's very few percentage of people who have both free hits and a bench boost. So just that combination
I need all my chips to bang.
Yeah, you
all
do.
my chips to bang.
You do. You need like a sub 100k game week rank, all 3 times. You want if you want like a 1k game week rank, 9k, 50k game week, you'll be flying. You'll suddenly overtake.
Speak it into existence, my guy.
See, next thing you know, you're gonna overtake Lord. He's gonna be upset at you.
Yeah, game week 33, we'll see in it. That's where it all starts. That's where it all kicks off. That's where everything starts to kick off.
Next week we're all rolling, right? So next week's just like we're rolling with more of the same, what we already have, see what we can learn, and then that's it. We go for the business end of the season. Again.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm a bit worried. All right, so cuz your team's set. We're all rolling. Nima, thank you very much for coming on the pod today.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Nima.
Yeah, man. And thanks, I know you've been trying to get on for a while, so finally got you on.
It's good to finally get it on, man.
Yeah, man. We'll get you on another time as well. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll get you guys on sometime as well. Yeah, I know it's live as well, so for you guys, we'll have to try to find a time that works. We might do a UK one with just us because Mariner's obviously in Singapore. God knows how many hours ahead he is. And he's obviously off for the foreseeable after his whole hospital stint. So he won't be back for a few game weeks. And then Gabriel's in like 9 hours behind in the West Coast of America. So it's like, how do you get these people all together?
Yeah, you guys do well to get that done, man. You're live every single time. It's good that you managed to manage how you guys host the whole time. So it's really good.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like one person is 3 p.m. in the afternoon, one person is 7 a.m. with their coffee, and the other person is 11 p.m. and they're having like a beer or something. So it's just the mindset of the show is chaos. Like, but I love it because it's more authentic, and I think this felt very much the same. Like just friends in a pub having a chat. Yeah, it's like this would be no different to if we were watching the game together, right? Like, and I think I love this kind of unscripted stuff, just chatting about the game we all love. So. Been a pleasure to be on the show. I'll definitely be shouting out about the episode and about the show to everyone I know. So
okay, drop your socials so the listeners can get you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm just on Twitter mainly. I'd say on at FPL Nima, so that's Nima. So definitely hit me up on there. Like I reply to most things, so just comment, DM. The main thing I would say is we've been doing the meetups, which obviously both of you have come to in the past, and that's a real nice way to take this online community and make it an in-person thing. So really, you know, as grown men, it's hard to make new friends and to have a common interest like this, where you can go and there's men, women, just lots of fans of FPL, all watching the 50 games. So 50 of us watching the games together. You don't kind of get any feeling better than that, because when I'm at home looking pissed off and, you know, your wife or your family asking you, why do you look so angry? You can't really explain to them that it's because, like, your player didn't start, or like, you know,
my game.
that Trent was benched, so I'm livid. It's going to ruin the rest of my day. So these people don't understand us, our loved ones, but come to a meetup, meet obviously RJ and Law in person if you haven't as well, that there are quite a few of them. But otherwise, like, yeah, let's just keep growing this lovely community we have in London of FPL managers, and let's compete.
And that one, you can get that meetups is at FPL Meets. And if you want to check out his podcast as well, it's at Net That Hall.
Thanks,
Law,
guys.
my handle is at _only1 RJ.
And mine is at only1_Law.
Like you said, we're going to catch you in game week 32. Don't forget, a lot of people are still slutting away, forgetting their teams, making mistakes like making Reece James captain. But yeah, we will see you in the following week. We have been your hosts. My name is RJ.
And I'm Law. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace!
Peace!
I was on mute. I was like, I better not say anything before they say the last bit. Jump right in.